The next inductee is it's going to be a husband and wife team, and I'm going to talk about Fran Knapp first, and then Warren Knapp second, and I hope that they will come to the stage after I talk about Warren. First is Fran Knapp. Fran Knapp is a pioneer. She's a visionary. She's a giver. In 1974, she had the vision of bringing varsity field hockey to Pfeiffer. She didn't want to go the club route, and she didn't want to go the JV route. She wanted to bring a varsity team, and she didn't want to go through the learning curve. So what she did is she recruited some competitors, and they were competitive from the onset. The first field hockey team went 6-4-4, and they played against competitors such as UNC, Duke, and Wake Forest. Although Fran coached the field hockey team only 3 years, she set the tone for what was to come. National ranking, followed by a top 10 finish at the national tournament, and then the 7th year of existence, Pfeiffer reached the ultimate goal of winning the Division II national championship in field hockey. Now, what a lot of people don't know is the Division II National Field Hockey Championship is the first ever NCAA Women's Championship. The reason is we finished before the volleyball did. They had theirs at night. We finished ours in the afternoon, and this was the first ever Women's National Championship, and Fran is responsible for that. We owe a tremendous debt to her for what she has done and dedication she has shown. Next is Warren Knapp. Warren is one of the most consistent winners in Pfeiffer history. He twice won the conference championship. He was named Falcon of the Year. And in 1966, his senior year, he teamed with brother Rick, and the duo won the District 26 doubles title. They advanced to the national tournament, and they brought home a top 10 team finish for Pfeiffer that year. The 1966 team was considered the best in Pfeiffer history. Now, you're going to find out that that didn't last, though. Warren was named the head tennis coach for the 1967-68 school year, and that year he scheduled Wake Forest, Northwestern, Harvard, and Virginia, as well as playing in the tough Carolinas Conference. Now, there's a building across the street. Some of you who are students now don't know anything about it. You probably avoided it. I went to it a time or two whenever I was a student here. It's called the library. And down in the belly of that library are the archives. And I went through there and I found this quote about the 1968 tennis team. The 1968 tennis team, coached by Warren Knapp, faced the most difficult schedule in the history of the school. The team was led by Rick Knapp and David Smith in compiling a record against top-flight competition that certainly showed them to be the finest team in school history. That's a pretty good thing for the 1 year that Warren coached. The problem I have with this is I play golf fairly regularly with David Smith, and I know I'm going to have to recite that the next time we get it a foursome. David and Rick were the mainstays on that team, and with Warren's coaching, it was pretty successful. Warren served Pfeiffer in many capacities, including Vice President of Admissions, Vice President of Development, served on the Board of Trustees, Falcon Club Board, and Fran, Warren, and the Knapp family have been outstanding leaders in philanthropic giving. The Knapp Tennis Center, the Knapp Health and Fitness Center are just two examples of their generosity towards Pfeiffer. And in 2013, Warren and Fran Knapp were bestowed the prestigious Governor's Award for Lifetime Volunteerism. It is a great honor and a privilege to ask both Fran and Warren to come to the stage at this time and be inducted in the Pfeiffer Sports Hall of Fame.
A native of Hingham, Massachusetts, Fran Knapp has been the longtime support of Pfeiffer University in the Falcon Athletic Program. In 1974, she began her pioneering efforts to bring varsity field hockey to Pfeiffer College. She recruited 17 players and guided the first-year team to a 6-4-4 overall record against extremely tough competition, including Duke, Wake Forest, and North Carolina. By year 5, the field hockey team finished 7th at the national tournament, and in year 7, Pfeiffer field hockey captured the 1981 NCAA Division II National Championship. In addition to serving as the first field hockey coach for 3 seasons, Knapp has also served as cheerleading coach and as director of the summer tennis program. In 1980, she was named an honorary Pfeiffer alumni. The Knapp family have lived selfless lives, and Pfeiffer Athletics has benefited from their generosity over the years, with the Knapp Tennis Center and the Knapp Health and Fitness Center being named in their honor. In 2013, Fran, along with her husband Warren, were awarded the prestigious Governor's Award for Lifetime Volunteerism. 2018 Pfeiffer Hall of Famer Fran Knapp. One of the most consistent winners in Pfeiffer men's tennis history, Warren Knapp was a 2-time conference tournament champion over his 4-year career. In 1966, Warren and teammate Rick Knapp won the NAIA District Championships and advanced to the national tournament, bringing home a top 10 finish to Meisenheimer. Many regard the 1966 Falcon men's tennis team as the best in school history. In 1967, Knapp was named head coach of the Falcon program, which competed against Wake Forest, Harvard, Northwestern, Virginia, as well as the extremely competitive Carolinas Conference teams. His service to Pfeiffer includes serving as Vice President for Admissions and Vice President for Development. He also served on the Pfeiffer Board of Trustees for 14 years, as well as being the President of the Pfeiffer Alumni Association and the Falcon Club. Warren, alongside his wife Fran and their entire family, have been outstanding leaders in philanthropic giving through their efforts at Pfeiffer, with the Knapp Tennis Center and Knapp Health and Fitness Center being named in their honor. In 2013, Warren and wife Fran received the prestigious Governor's Award for Lifetime Volunteerism. 2018 Pfeiffer Hall of Famer Warren Knapp.
Thank you, and special thanks for the wonderful slide presentation. I am truly honored to be standing here and being inducted into the Pfeiffer Sports Hall of Fame. This is especially meaningful to me because I have an opportunity to publicly recognize the tremendous contributions to the field hockey program of the ladies who played for me. These players came to Pfeiffer to play in a team that did not yet exist, on a field that was not yet built, and for a young 24-year-old former college field hockey player who had absolutely no coaching experience. Warren and I were married in 1974 and arrived on the Pfeiffer campus in June. Now, all you math majors out there have probably figured out just how old I am. Warren's responsibilities included admissions and athletics, so we talked a lot about ideas to increase enrollment, especially in the Mid-Atlantic and New England states. I casually said one night, "What about starting a field hockey program?" and then went about my business of teaching 6th grade at New London School. A few weeks later, Warren announced to me that the athletic department and the Board of Trustees had approved the starting of field hockey. "Great," I responded. "Who's going to coach?" Well, sheepishly, he said, "Well, I told them you would."
And we're still married.
Most coaches I know are great with statistics, and they can tell you who scored what goals, who had assists, for most of their matches and games. Well, I am not one of them. And I actually had to look through old yearbooks to find out our records. And they were good. We were good. We were always better than 500, even in our first year. And considering the teams that we played, that was no small feat. For me, though, coaching was about my players. I worried about their grades. Were they homesick? Their boyfriend problems? Was I working them too hard? Was I not working them hard enough? Well, we lost in double overtime to High Point one year because my players were not in good shape. It's certainly not in the shape they needed to be. I didn't have them ready, and we were beaten. Well, Warren was close to a lot of the field hockey players because he was actually the one who was up in New England and the Mid-Atlantic states recruiting them. So after games, they would often stop by his office the next day, and they would ask him what I had told him about how they played. Well, several of them stopped by after that High Point game and asked him what I said. And Warren answered, "Well, she stopped crying about midnight, but she said that actually you all played pretty well. You just weren't in good enough shape." Well, one of the Sheehan twins said, "Oh, that's great. We thought she was upset about the way we played." And Warren said, you guys have to go and eat a good lunch and be ready to run, because practice this afternoon is really going to be awful. As I mentioned, we had a great schedule our first season and every season leading up to the 1981 National Championship. In the spring before our first season, I attended a coaches meeting in Pinehurst. I really did not know what was going to happen at this meeting, but the then athletic director, Alan Patterson, said he thought it was a time to meet other coaches and maybe talk about schedules. I was given a really nice name tag which said Fran Knapp, Pfeiffer College, and I walked in and I spent a few minutes just sort of assessing the situation. Everyone seemed to know each other, except for me. I didn't know anybody. And after a few hugs and a little chit-chat, they began to pull out notebooks and walk around. Well, I listened carefully. I actually did a lot of eavesdropping to figure out what they were doing. And they were scheduling matches. And this was spring, they were doing it for the next fall. Okay, I thought, I can do this, but where do I begin? Well, you have to understand that I had just moved to North Carolina from the Boston area. And in the early 70s, you knew regional colleges around where you lived, and then the names of some of the really big institutions. Well, I didn't recognize the names of very many of the colleges that were represented in that room. However, I did know Duke. So I went up to the Duke coach and I introduced myself and I asked if she would like to play Pfeiffer, home and away. Well, I'm pretty sure I caught her totally off guard, but she said yes. Oh, well, next I approached the Wake Forest coach because Rob Knapp went to Wake Forest, so I knew that name too. I introduced myself and I said I'd love to schedule them home and away. I opened my notebook where I had written in huge letters Duke twice, because they were going to play us twice. And I made sure that the coach could see it. I said, I'm pretty free, except you're going to have to work around our matches with Duke. Okay. Wake said yes, and I was on a roll. I had Clemson, North Carolina, Davidson, High Point, Catawba, and a few others. When I brought my schedule back to Alan Patterson, I don't think he believed me. These colleges remained on Pfeiffer's list for many, many years, and I'm certain that the strength of schedule is really what helped to recruit so many very talented players and for them to advance on to postseason play. The 1981 National Championship team also included my next-door neighbor, Beth Connors from Hingham, Mass., Carol Durkin from Situate, Mass., and Jack Ingram will always be grateful to the field hockey program because Warren and I recruited Nancy McDade, better known to all of you as Nancy Ingram. She also took over at one point as the head coach. I love coaching almost as much as I love playing field hockey. Just before the Deep South tournament, which was to be the conclusion of my coaching career, I told my players that I would not be coaching the next year. It was time for us to start a family. Ashley was born the following fall and quickly grew into her own Pfeiffer field hockey uniform. Ashley's here tonight, and I don't know that she remembers, but she actually wore this. And I have a picture of her with Nancy, and Ashley was in her.
Literally seems like yesterday.
And then Warren III arrived a few years later. I was sad as we finished dinner as a team that night and then returned to our hotel. I'd read the players the riot act about not sneaking out after lights out, but I was worried and having second thoughts about having already told them that I would not be their coach next year. I really listened carefully, but apparently not carefully enough, because some of them clearly snuck out. No one ever owned up to the changes on the hotel sign, which in the morning read, "We love you, Knicks." Thank you.
And they expect you to follow that without any emotion. Nancy. And I had a really good friend that worked for the governor, and he said to me one time, I've never heard a bad, short speech. This will be the shortest speech you've ever heard. And then we have a little surprise for everybody. I know it's kind of been leaking out here and there, but I think you'll be pleased with our little surprise that we have coming up. But I have always been sincerely grateful for the many opportunities my alma mater has provided me. Pfeiffer College was a perfect fit for me as a student. It was the perfect size, and as Mike Ryman can tell you, offered an academic program I could be successful in, and a caring faculty who went out of their way to help a skinny boy from Hingham, Mass. Adjust to college life. Tennis is still my favorite sport, and both of my kids are accomplished players. Ashley was a college All-American. All 4 grandchildren are learning the game, and Ashley's currently coaching at the Canterbury School, where she also teaches. One of my great accomplishments is producing a teacher. So from age 2 to age 74, we're all still swinging a racket. Now let's have some fun. Colleen, if you will come up, please. By the way, 2 of my kids are here tonight. When I coached the tennis team, the little blurb did not come up, but I did coach the varsity team as well as play, and I'd like David Smith and my brother Rick to stand up. I call my kids. I was 24 and they were 22. Ashley, if you and Bob would also come up, please. This is my son-in-law. The greatest thing that can happen to any dad that loves his daughter is that she marries the absolutely perfect guy. And Bob Meyer is that. We're best buddies, play golf together, and he's just a super guy. With the help over the last couple of months of family, former field hockey players, which is key, and friends, I'm so pleased to announce that we have established a $100,000 endowed scholarship in honor of Fran. The Francis Morris Knapp Scholarship will be awarded to a student with strong academics, leadership skills, and a record of service to others, which is how we've tried to lead our lives. Thank you very much, and we hope. What? This, by the way, I left out the best part. This was a complete surprise to Fran.
But he got off script. You see my leg been shaking the last couple of minutes. When Warren Knapp gets off script, you have no idea what.
Fran had no idea, and we were unbelievably able to keep this a secret from her. So she's standing here right now, having no idea that the $100,000 that we were able to raise and give to Pfeiffer was a complete surprise.